Here's what does the lower self breed?
Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms.
74. What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met Satan?
You'll say one time when he met Satan?
Oh.
You'll say that? Man,
Yeah.
say one time when
Yes.
he met him.
Yes. 74. What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met Satan? 74.
Where are you going? Where are you going, Satan?
75. What was the answer the lower self gave to the higher self?
I am going to and fro the earth, seeking whom I may devour.
76. Has he finished his task devouring?
Yes.
77. When was his time declared out?
When he nailed Jesus on the cross.
78. What were the last words of Jesus? What were the last words Jesus uttered?
It is finished.
79. What did he reference to?
He had reference to the end of Satan.
80. Did Jesus say that he would return to conquer him?
Yes.
81. What is the first name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated?
Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror.
82. Was Satan to be bound then?
Satan was to be bound in part.
83. When was the head of Satan taken off?
1453 Byzantine.
84. By whom?
By Muhammad.
85. Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of Northwest by the European nations in 1774.
Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopia.
86. Negro, a name given to
a river in West Africa by Moors because it contains black water.
87. What is meant by the word black?
Black, according to science, means death.
Let me say this again for everybody on the call. 85 is to be said by everybody, like when we in a setting. So the whole everybody just states 85. You know what I'm saying? So the brother did that correct.
Islam. 88. What does the word colored mean?
Color means anything that has been painted, stained, punished, or dyed.
89. What does Ethiopian mean?
Ethiopia means something that.
90. Can a man be a Negro?
Black, colored, or Ethiopian?
Oh, black, colored, or Ethiopian. Pardon self.
No. All right.
No.
90. Can a man? 91. Why?
91. Because man is made in the image and after the likeness of God, Allah.
92. What title does Satan give himself?
God.
93. Will you divide the word white? Will you define the word white? Pardon self.
White means purity. Purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land.
94. To whom do we refer at times as being the great God?
Allah.
95. Is the devil made in the image and likeness of Allah?
No, he is the shadow of our Lord's self and will pass away.
96. Who made the devil?
Eloheem.
97. Who is Eloheem?
Eloheem is the 7 creative spirits that created everything that ever was and is and evermore to be.
98. What is Eloheem sometimes called?
The 7 eyes of Allah.
99. How many days are in a circle?
7 days.
100. How many days are in creation?
7 days.
101. According to science, how many days are in a year?
7 days.
Islam, yield the floor.
Beautiful. All right, down here, y'all see where it say well, that's incorrect. Say the questionnaire is taken from the divine conscience. You can say that, but it says this text is taught in Sunday schools and is expected to be memorized before a more can progress to the higher teachings and doctrines of more science. That's true. So this is supposed to be done by memory, where really we don't even have to use a book. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let me pull up the Holy Koran. It's not responding.
Can I interject before we move forward?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Yes, I have a question. I can't remember exactly what number the question was. It was in the lower 60s or the higher 50s, but it asks us who are the mother and fathers of the angel, and the answer was Adam and Eve. But yet the angels were here before Adam and Eve. So how could they be the mother and fathers of the angels?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me find it. It's open here. Okay. Well, we gotta go all the way up. Holy Grail, Garden of Eden, land of Canaan, city of Item 53. What is the modern day given to the Garden of Eden, Mecca? All right, what is the name of the first physical man? His name cannot be used only by the executive rulers of the AC or the MSTofA. So right there, they're telling you it's some public and private stuff going on. I'm gonna go ahead. Today's topic is public and private, and higher self, lower self. Even in the court system, you have higher courts and lower courts. Islam. So the prophet is laying out some stuff. Just from my study, seeing more and more to this. So what's the modern name? The modern name for the Garden of Eden. Now I totally agree with you that there were angels here before man. So let's keep going. It says, what is the name of the first physical man? You know what I'm saying? Then it says, what are the words? Adam chamber, third heaven. So it's more than one heaven. Who were Adam and Eve? They are the mother and fathers of the human family, Asiatics. It's supposed to say Asiatics and Muslims. You know what I'm saying? Now this will say Asiatics and European. So what's going on with these? Because Bruss said here said something different. It's 101s and 102s. You know what I'm saying? And both of them tie together. It's just depending on what thought chamber you in. So the Asiatic and Muslims. So, bro, I want you to expand right quick before I go in. And anybody else that want to go in on your thoughts about the angels before man, before the physical man. And keep it kind of, keep it brief. But what you could, you could keep expanding on that. Like, give me your measure on that. Who are they? You know their names?
No, I don't know the angels' names.
Okay. So, anybody else? You want to expand on the angels that were here before, but anything relating to that? Because the ones don't know, even in the Bible, in Genesis 6:4, talk about the sons, plural of God, coming down and having children with the daughters of men. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
This happened before Genesis, if you know. So in earlier tablets, this again is the 101s for most children. This is exactly what it's supposed to do, spark your brain. So there were our ancestors, the Eloheem, they called in Hebrew. Aramaic, actually, the actual language, Aramaic, the sons of God, right? The Elohim, the Eloheem-Angles-Anu, they called in Arabic in the Quran. You know what I'm saying? So here it talks about it, they being physical men. In the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, they were physical men. The men in Sodom and Gomorrah was trying to have sex with the angels because they were so nice looking. And they had the all white on, you know what I'm saying? They popped up, they like, oh. So that's, if you're not familiar with that story. So these angels wrote our ancestors, physical beings, wrote books as well. Now the Europeans are all on it because they talk about the Anunnaki, that the Elohim are the Anunnaki. Islam.
Islam.
We track it. So they do have names. If you read the Bible, you got to go back to previous books like the Atrahasis and the Enuma-Elish, the 7 tablets of creation, older scrolls and like the Meta, and you will start seeing the correlation of this. So you are correct, bro. It's a lot. It's the Adam and Eve that most people know about was like the 5th Adam and Eve, which was Cadmon and the Kebu in what they're talking about now. So Asiatic is a ancient Meta term that means those who left the central part of Tamore over there, what we call now Egypt. When people say Egypt in their brain, what the big monuments are over there, you know what I'm saying, in northeastern at what's misnomer Africa. So it's ancient stories about Anu and Anshar and Tiamat and Titi and Tiamat. What was the name? And a couple and some more that was before Cadmon and the Kebu, like the ones before the flood. You know what I'm saying? All of these stories, all of these records, our story of our records, they written down. You just gotta, start reading the right books and the right scroll. So, that's what that's talking about. You talk about Anu, Enki, and Lil, you know what I'm saying? Before there was even, we was using the word Allah like that. That's where these concepts came from. And 54 said, what's the modern name for the Garden of Eden? So what would be the ancient name? You know what I'm saying? And they said they went into Asia, so they went out. That's why we're called Asiatics. Don't think, the yellow Moors with the slanted eyes. No, that's modern. Anciently, Asia was the whole planet. You know what I'm saying? That's in the old 5%. That's in the old 5% knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was right on that one. You know what I'm saying? The Asiatic. But in the Nation of Islam, they changed it to the Asiatic black man, which would mean the pale, the pale Asiatics. We Asiatics, that mean the dark skin, olive tone, woolly haired beings. So those that came from them, you know what I'm saying? So they say, are Moorish American, are they in relation to those angels? 63, yes, we all have the same father and mother. So it's saying that that we are relation to these beings. That ties back to Genesis 6:4, where they talk about the fathers, you know what I'm saying? And if you read these scrolls, it implicitly talks about this. It's not a question. Marduk was the first. Murdoch are the angel. Michael or Melchizedek, same being. He was the first angel to marry an earth woman named Seraphim. Y'all need to be writing this down and going to look it up. Because don't believe what I'm telling you, go look it up for yourself. But so it's whole scrolls about that, because that was a big deal when he done that. You know what I'm saying? It was like an edict amongst amongst the Anunnaki, to where couldn't deal with earth women, you know what I'm saying? And all of that. So he was the first one that did that. Then you had like demigods that were being born, half human and half Anunnaki or Elohim. And then of course everybody wanted to start doing it. All the Anunnaki want to start doing it. So yeah, it's a whole, it's other ancient stories about these, and we're gonna start going into this, but we got to keep Sunday school rolling, and really the children's supposed to be running Sunday school. So boo, boo, boo. So give 5 names that are given to the descendants of the descendants, descend going down. You have ascendants as well. So he said descendants of Adam and Eve. So you steady having step downs from angels, you got man, you got demigods, now you got Lucifer, Satan, dragon, and beast. This is the 5-pointed star turned upside down. What is the devil sometimes called? The lower self. How many cells are there? 2. Name them, higher self and lower self. So in law, you have what's called equity on land, and then you have the lower legal stuff like regular constitutions and regular statutes and all of that. And equity is what the prophet said, and we are to follow his laws, the prophet laws. If the prophet not right, the temple ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And not so anybody talking anything else outside of it, they trying to make you violate a religious law. That's how they will be expressed in the public. So right here, this is so 70. It said, what is the higher self? The higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life and breed justice, mercy, love, and right. This is the feminine property of Allah, which we used to express it anciently as what? Anybody know?
No,
I
don't
definitely
know,
know.
Bertrand.
Yeah, we finna open up this.
That's the Allaht, ALLAT.
There you go. Somebody said it.
I heard it before, but I wasn't sure. So talking about
Oh,
Arkansaw is an arm, leg, arm, head, or what is it? A lot?
a lot. In any of our
Oh,
ancient languages, when you add a T to the end of it, that's even better than that term. It makes it feminine. So we did honor the feminine principle, anciently, a lot. Or deeper, Allah is the wife of Allah. And this going into Islamism before Muhammad went into the Kaaba, he took a lot out of there. You know what I'm saying? And that's going into a whole nother bag of stuff. But yeah. So just like Nebt, in NEB in Medinatur, that's Nebt, which means Lord. Like the name Nebuchadnezzar, that's the first part of that is Neb. He was Nebuchadnezzar, you know what I'm saying? He was Lord that. So when you put a T on it, it's Nebt. The T is an upside down one of these. It's Nebt. That's a T. And so the deity Neptis on the top I'll show it to you. On the top of her, take this off. How they spell it? Yeah. See the crown on top of her head? Nah, just right here. See the Neptis. But it's really Nebt het. So this boy correct right here. This dope right here. This hard right. I like this. Hold on. Whoever did this guy. He writes. So this will be a modern day depiction of these deities. You know what I'm saying? Like the things on the wall, that's what they was doing. They go hard on this little joint right here. You know what you're looking at. But that's similar in the back now, but this right here, that's the lotus staff. And this glyph is words, you know what I'm saying? This Nebt het. Nebt het. Het is like palace. And it's the rectangle with the square right there. And if you took geometry, they still use that for a right angle to this day.
it's
You know what I'm saying? And this bandana she got on, this is where like do-rags and everything come from. This is like an ancient Canaanite symbol. All over here, that's why, they depict so-called Native Americans with these on. And we would put the feather in the front of it, the feather of my yacht, depending on your rank. That's what the prophet got. But so you see this right here, this like this ancient right here, because you see that green hue, you know what I'm saying? The Medinatur, when we first came down here, some of us was blue hued and green hued before we like rusted. And that's a whole nother story. Islam. So that's why you'll see like right here, you got Usada, as people call him Osiris. And there go his glyph right here, because I read Meta. So right here, that's the glyph for Osiris right there. It's Usar. That's the glyph. That's like a noun, letting you know it's talking about a deity. This is the throne seat that he's sitting on right here. It's a right angle. Well, it's supposed to be, you know. See, our ancestors with these equations. Well, imagine that they're straight. That's that. You know what I'm saying? And the eye. This is the eye that's on the top of our divine constitution and bylaw. Islam. See, everything the prophet brought was met in their church. So over here, you got a set. You see this the same glyph right here as a SAR, but he got this right here on it, the T. Well, I covered it up. It got that upside down. I'll get my joint back on. Well, right here. It ain't working.
This is on Grand Sheet. These are also the writings that are on the cartouches.
Yeah. If it's a name, it's gonna be in the cartouche.
Indeed. This is on.
You know what I'm saying? But right here it's talking about Nebt. That right there is talking about her, because she got the glyph on top of her head. And this right here is talking about Neptus. She got it on top of her head. You know what I'm saying? And it's talking about what they're doing. They say they're the lords of Lower Egypt right here. The Lord, the mistresses are the goddesses of Lower Egypt. That's what they're saying. And this right, I just had it. That's hard. This right here, that's the glyph. The glyph right there, that's the glyph for Netir. All right. Elohim in Arabic, all right. Alhuma, angel, or God, you know what I'm saying, in the title. Well, Osar was like the Netir. And these two feathers that he got on his head in modern expression will be what the prophet got on his head. The two feathers in the front. Y'all ain't other digging what's going on. The prophet is the Osiris of the West. Are we tracking? Literally. Islam, are y'all there? Everybody.
It's on. It's on.
Definitely.
Noble Drew Ali became the Sultan of the West. He became the president of the Republic, and he became the Pharaoh of the West. You know what I'm saying? Su'Ten. So a lot of Moors, you know, they haven't gotten to that. I even see that because boom, boom, boom. This was central. This was the expression in central Tamuray is what the original, you know, phonetic for Egypt was Tamuray. Tamuray. So yeah, let me see what they got going on. It's kind of hard, but you know, to express this, something like this, they would draw something like this. We would, you know what I'm saying? Because we expressed our writings in a profile from the side. This is the same. It's talking about a lot of stuff, but it's, you know, there you go again, and you see the red, white, and blue. That's ancient Talmud red in colors. We always use the colors. They go to red headdress. That's a crown actually. That when you tie something around your head, is considered a crown.
It's on.
Yeah, this like adept. You know what I'm saying? The high adept stuff right here. They got a 5-pointed star. That's ancient Meta too. The 5-pointed star is the crescent is too. Yeah, see, you could tell the ancient ones, they always be dark. The modern depiction, they gonna have the big P Diddy on it. They done did the whoop on it. You feel me? They gonna have them looking like this. What if I know they crazy? I'm sick of what it's supposed to be looking like this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, they going off with that. They gonna tell Nude. Mm-hmm. Shake Mitt, Sell Kit. Hey Kit, this a real ancient deity right here. Hey Kit, that's Ptah. Okay, some artists going off with that. Now this is, well, that's fake right there. This look more real. That's a set, two a set statue. She got the crown on the top of her head. But I ain't got to talk about this. Right. I mean, yeah, this who was iPhone? Wow. I don't know who is iPhone. Who was iPhone?
Is say that again, Rashid? Who was who?
On here is, hey, let me see if they're still on. Oh, they're not on here. Okay. Go. See that. We got another 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to read the last chapter of the Holy Quran. But what I was gonna really go into after that, the fact that January the 8th was the prophet's birthday. And so I know everybody, um, you know, if you're not concerned about getting your status corrected, you should be. And so we are starting, like, if you haven't done your, like, got your temple conveyance sheet done and all of that, and all of that, it's time for you to get it. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't got your temple card and your per capita tax card and it's time for you to do your due diligence and get your stuff done. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. So, because we really moving into a new era of time, and everybody out here, like on the prophet birthday, you're supposed to get a prophet a tribute, like a piece of silver. I just suggest a piece of silver, like you donate a piece of silver to the temple every year on the prophet birthday. Um, and you get a certificate back. It's like your certificate of good standings, really. You feel me? And it does a couple of things, but in equity, that's just like a undeniable proof that you are who you say you are, and that your allegiance is to the prophet. Am I making sense?
Indeed. Indeed.
Reason being, yeah, the end time and the fulfillment of the prophecy. Last prophet in these days, and noble Jew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways. The redemption process, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you redeem yourself out of sin. You got to do your status correction. Islam.
Islam.
The first step after you proclaim your nationality and doing what we're doing right now, you on land, but you got 1 foot in the land and 1 foot in the water. So you got to come all the way on land and get conveyed over in equity to Allah, and then back to yourself, your family. You do your family estate. Start working on getting your family estate back, but you get yourself straight first. You do your status correction. So, and it is like, so it's just like when you're dealing with any other government or the European, it's fees to it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Really your dues, for one, your dues are per capita tax. That's included in the dues and all that. That has to be like kept up for you to be solvent in your government. You know what I'm saying? And that's the operation of being a Moorish American in 2023. And it's, IDs and different things that we have in place that we're lawfully working on, but everybody from this point has to do their part. And if you're just a member, which means member means somebody that's in a nation. I went over this on one of them classes, so you're just gonna have to find it. But member / citizen of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because citizen means subject. We're subjects of Allah, because Allah is our father. You know what I'm saying? And just like it say on 9 right here, the covenant of the great God Allah, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the earth land, which the Lord thy God Allah has given thee. Key 1 say, who is Allah? Father of the universe. And I go back, you know what I'm saying? That's how you lock in with the law. This is our law right here.
Islam.
Islam.
You know, come all you Asiatics of America and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negro learning your forefathers' ancient and divine creed. That stuff I was just teaching y'all, that's the ancient and divine creed. It's just not too many modes that's really done went deep into our ancient and divine creed. That was like a scrape on the iceberg. But it's time for y'all to really know what the prophet brought. And I just got to bring y'all up to speed. In the way that we are situated right now, where if you haven't done your status correction and all that lawfully through a temple, you can do it. It's a way you can try to do it without it, but you're not a national. Because if you say you're a national, what nation you a part of? You know what I'm saying? Now you in equity, you're not being lawful. So you basically are under the jurisdiction of the Europeans still in the public. And you have to, get redeemed. You have to redeem yourself. And it's a process to that. You know what I'm saying? So if the first thing is keeping your dues and assessments of just like anything else, and getting with, we really need to do another Zoom right after this. But if you if you want to go ahead and start doing it, then really y'all need to call the home office. I'm gonna put the home office number down there. All right. And fee, however much a piece of silver is. In order to have lawful consideration, in order to have law, this y'all law lesson for today, but we're gonna do another Zoom call. In order to have lawful consideration, you have to have exchanged or received some lawful species, which is silver or gold or something tangible. Islam, that's equity. If you get a piece of paper with a promise on it, that's not equity, that's commerce. That's like a constructive trust you just formed on the promise to pay later. But if you do something and you give a person some silver, or if they do something for you and you give them some silver, you actually paid them for that. You know what I'm saying? And equity under God. Commerce, the lower self, those who operate in the lower self, they cannot operate in it. That's what's going on. That's what he's talking about. The shadow going to and fro the earth, seeking whom he may destroy. That's the defect. That's the corporate beast. You know what I'm saying? That's talking about in Revelation. That's on the 10 hills of Rome. That's why we're returning. We are returning the Church of Christianity back to the European nation, as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation, to go to and fro the earth, seeking, you know what I'm saying? And it's changing now. So Moors have to, and we are connecting back with Morocco as well. So I got less than 1 minute. The sister gonna share another thing, and we're gonna get back on here, and then we'll end class for today. Islam.
Is Grand Sheik, after this is over, you want to say we got to log back into the link?
Yeah, she gonna send another link.
Okay, is yield the floor. Pardon self.
Islam. Chief of Staff.